Hey guys, so I wanted to share a personal story today because this is what's currently going on in my life and it is wild. If this situation were happening in real time, I don't know if I'd actually believe it. So I'm going to share with you the kind of video diaries that I was doing about this event. And then at the end, I'm going to come back in, give you guys an update because this is something that a lot of women deal with, unfortunately. So we are dealing with a scary situation in my apartment building right now, and I want to know what you guys would do. So my building has a free coffee machine, but you have to bring your own cup. And I'll typically utilize it every day, but not between the same hours at all. So because I live in a really big building, I don't even really run into my friends unless we purposefully meet up. I maybe run into them every 1 to 3 months. But suddenly I noticed last week that I was running into the same frickin' guy every single time I was going to get my coffee in the morning. Now, I never get my coffee at the same time. I maybe get it between 8:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. But I always vary my schedule as to not really get into a routine. But I was getting really annoyed because every single time I'd get my coffee, I'd be stuck there while it was being made, having to talk to this person. My building is a great community. We have a big group chat. And so some of our numbers are in that group chat. The first week that I moved into this place, this guy took my number out of the group chat and asked me to hang out. I proceeded to block him. So now, as I'm having to get my coffee with him being there, he's like, "Hey, Shar, can't get a text back?" I just kind of look at him. So last Friday, I'm getting ready to go to my friend's birthday party. I didn't get coffee that day, but it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I decide that I want to grab a cup while I'm getting ready to, start the evening's festivities. I go down the elevator, and I can see that he's playing billiards or whatever, and he saw me exit the elevator. I'm just like, whatever, not really trying to say hi to him. We're not cool like that. So I go, I'm in there getting my coffee made, and suddenly I hear a voice, "Hey, Shar, how's it going?" This guy fucking followed me from the billiards room into the coffee machine room. I'm like, going to a friend's birthday party, trying to keep it as short as I possibly can with him. He says, "Do you want to hang out this weekend?" And I said, "No, I don't want to hang out this weekend." So circle back. So one of my friends had messaged me that some people were kind of talking about this dude and his weird interactions in a group chat earlier. So I knew that he was being weird. And so that gave me the strength to kind of be rude to him when he started to try to be more aggressive in his interactions with me. I said, "No, what in our communication would ever think to you that I would want to hang out with you?" I said, "The other women in the building are talking about you and how you've been creeping on the girls, and you need to stop." Luckily, there were two larger, older guys there who really looked like they could rough somebody up. And so he kind of backed away, but he was just well, that's all relative. It didn't even click with him. I barely say 2 words to this guy. What in him would make him think that I ever wanted to hang out with him and that was an appropriate thing to do? And he's been texting me when I've never responded, and I've had him blocked this entire time. What the hell? What do you even do with that? Anyway, so the whole thing kind of had me irritated, slightly shaken because he seemed kind of off when he was trying to talk to me. So I called my friend and I told her that I had a weird situation with him. And she said, "Dude, he stalks us." She said he waits in the corridors and stuff for us so that he can talk to us. So that's when it clicked for me. And I realized this guy knew that he could catch me at the coffee machine at some point in the morning. And he waited there every single day last week between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. And then on the one day that I don't show up, he still fucking caught me getting coffee at 6 p.m., waiting with a coffee cup to look like he was getting coffee. Do you understand how psychotic that is? So I'm back with an update on my creepy coffee stalker in my building. Surprise! It's so much worse than I thought. The good news is that I'm definitely not the only one, and that this is a massive building-wide issue. So I basically discovered that there was a guy in my building who was waiting in the corridors for me to get coffee every single day for 5 hours. And somehow when he did this, he could get to the coffee machine before me, make his coffee, so then I'd have to stand there and listen to him while he was making his coffee. And then he could force me into more conversation because I had to then wait for my coffee to be done. So it turns out that more than 20 women in my building are having issues with this guy, and several have actually filed charges with the police. A brave girl brought her story to the building group chat, and it opened the gate of so many people, men and women included, talking about their experiences with him and what he's done in the building. So 7 different people posted in the group chat different messages that he sent them, including ones that he sent even though he was blocked. So literally just a wall of text talking to himself. To one girl, he said, "Enough chit chat, let's." He also messaged a married woman on Instagram, trying to continuously get her to hang out, and she kept saying, "Don't bother me, I'm not interested."
This man has been yelled at several times, told firmly via text to stop. He has been physically removed from parties, but none of it phases him because the next day he pops up like, hey guys, what's going on? And still tries to hang out with people. But I think the creepiest story was from a new girl in the building who just moved in with her brother. Since she just moved in, she wasn't in the group chat yet, so the creeper couldn't get her number. So somehow he found out what floor she was on, found out what apartment she was living in, and he went and knocked on her door. Luckily, she wasn't there, and her brother answered. He was like, hey, my name's Creeper. Can I get so-and-so's number? And her brother was like, dude, you need to leave. Of course she doesn't want to give you her number. And they were able to file some charges. Not that anything's been done yet. But he's gone to several women's apartments and knocked on their doors, and several women have been physically assaulted by him. So everyone's trying to band together right now in order to keep, everyone safe. And everyone's emailing the leasing office their reports and their different stories. So we're just kind of waiting for a resolution at this point. But this guy is so creepy, y'all. Like, the vibes are off. The vibes are really, really off, and I'm concerned.
Okay, so third update on my creepy coffee stalker neighbor. So update, even more women have come out within the last 2 days about things that this guy has done and have been putting his messages in the group chat. It is insane. And luckily with everything going on, somebody took the group chat and sent it to our building management, and they have taken some steps to get him removed. So at minimum, they've respectfully asked him to leave the community, and he did give his notice, so hooray. However, there's the question of whether or not he's going to leave peacefully, especially since his behavior has been escalating drastically over the last couple days to like a few weeks. I think I said before that he is no longer in the group chats, and he has been desperately trying to get some of the admins to let him back in, even though they've told him to stop texting them, and he just keeps texting them. So I'm not sure, how quickly he's going to be ejected from the community. I know that the landlord said that they were going to try to do it a little bit more quickly in concern of everyone's safety. So we'll see. I'm really hoping that this is like the last update. Apparently this guy is supposed to be moving to another neighborhood, and if that happens, I'm definitely going to post it in some of the Facebook groups so that women in the community are on high alert. Hey guys, so I have an unfortunate update about the creepy stalker in my building. I was hoping that this was going to be a matter that was taken care of, but it looks like it is ongoing. A lot of stuff has happened between now and when I made my first post, so I'm going to share what I can right now, and hopefully once it's fully resolved, I can give you guys like the full tea. So today is supposed to be the move out day for the creepy stalker guy that has been terrorizing our entire building. It's well past half the day, and it looks like he's not making an attempt to move out. So it looks like this unfortunately might be turning into a squatter situation. But it gets even worse. So Saturday we have a community event. It was supposed to be in a main area, but the weather was really bad, so it moved to one of the penthouses. So this was a private event that was in our building group chat. So it's not like it was like publicly advertised anywhere. So the party's been going for, a few hours. Everyone's having a really good time. And apparently the creeper showed up. How did he find this party, you may ask? Well, this guy is such a creep that he actually rides the elevators. He rides the elevators and monitors the floors for if there's any activity going on, then invites himself into the parties. He entered the party for about a hot second. Apparently, it was like the hottest second that there ever was before someone noticed that it was him there. So they asked him nicely to leave, and a bunch of the guys are like, hey bro, like you can't be here. And he decides that he's gonna take a swing. Unfortunately, that swing hit the owner of the lease for that penthouse. Poor guy's a mess. I wish I could show you guys pictures. But they were like, dude, you have to get out of here. And when I went back up to the penthouse, there was like blood on the floor. It was a mess. The only thing I saw, because I had like gone to another friend's place for a minute, and when I came back up, I looked on the floor and there was like blood. I was like, what the hell? So they called the police and now they're involved and everything. But this guy is now squatting in our building. So unfortunately, that's the update. And I'll keep you guys in the know. Hey guys, so today has been another crazy day with the creeper in our building. So after this guy punched my neighbor on Saturday night, the police came and they were able to get a warrant for his arrest. Unfortunately, even though he's squatting in our building, they haven't been able to execute that warrant because the warrant is not for his apartment. So lately, because I think that people are kind of like onto him and his stalking, he's been going to the gym to kind of corner girls every single day. He's been going about 5 times, no joke. We're trying to keep each other aware of his movements in the group chat. And it's really kind of sad because we all feel very uncomfortable walking around our building that we pay all this money to live in. For anyone who's accused me of like making this situation up, I frickin' wish. because it's actually so much worse than what I'm sharing with you online. Because I'm trying to protect people's privacy, and because if something happens, I can't have it on my heart that it could have been because of me. Our building management isn't doing anything. They're saying that their hands are legally tied because of squatters' rights or whatever. Something kind of crazy that happened is that somebody in our group chat submitted a post from some of the businesses around our apartment complex. And it turns out we're not the only ones that he's torturing. There was also a background report that was run, and unfortunately, this guy's definitely got a rap sheet. Going back all the way to 2010, from Seattle to New York, even Havasu. Burglary, loitering, assault, all sorts of stuff. I personally can't believe that this situation has gone on this long. I'm kind of glad at this point that I've been posting about it on the internet, because I don't know if I would even really believe it myself if it hadn't been for these real-time entries. Something else that I forgot about the incident that happened on Saturday night was that afterwards, when we all went to another apartment, one of my neighbors talked about the one time there was a party at the creeper's apartment. And he said that he woke up in the staircase and that he had to get help going home. And he's an avid partier. He had no idea like how he drank so much. And my friend commented to him, he drank a girl's drink. He drank a girl's drink in this creeper's apartment. That was a really scary revelation. There was also a point where he had like fostered a puppy or something like that. And we were talking about in the group chat, like nobody has seen that dog. I remember thinking he's just getting this dog in order to attract women and to like reel people in. But yeah, so that is today's update, I guess. Stay safe out there. So there you have it. And unfortunately, this guy is still not in police custody despite having multiple warrants out. Apparently, he's also been robbing some local businesses as well, but we have no updates on what's going on with that. This person is still walking around the building. He literally texted me 2 days ago. I unblocked him per recommendation of some of the other women in the building because you need that information in order to file police reports. Several of the guys in the building have taken him aside, and it seems like he has finally gotten the point that he's unwelcome at our building events, that the majority of people aren't happy with him because he's been trying to get back into the group chat. Apparently, he was shocked that people were so upset with him, and he still thinks that his behavior is something that he can apologize for, which is just wild to me. So, some of my key takeaways from this situation, basically, it's become very clear how even though over 50 women can be affected by one person's creepy behavior, that the law still protects this man. It's just so clear. It makes me wonder what life would be like if men weren't so protected from the law. Another key takeaway from this situation was that I'm super grateful for my community, because it was because of the community that we were able to figure out what was going on in our building. I mean, we talk to each other, we communicate pretty well. And it makes me wonder, if there's a creep in a neighborhood where, say, there are a lot of little kids and the parents aren't super connected. Say that there's a creep in the neighborhood and one little girl or one woman or one, teenage girl thinks that she's alone, thinks that she's the only one, that she can't talk to anybody. I'm sure that happens all the time. In other apartment buildings that this guy's been a part of, I'm sure that there were other women who dealt with this who probably moved out thinking that they were the only ones. And another major takeaway, and maybe the final one, there was nothing that I could have done to avoid this situation. If this guy, even though he took my number out of the group chat, if he didn't have it there, he would have knocked on my door, he would have found out what my apartment number was. There's almost nothing that you can do when there is a person like this in your community to protect yourself enough, because psychos are going to do what they're going to do. And the only thing that we can do is to try to put as much of this in writing as we can with authorities, communicate with each other, go places together so that hopefully we don't run into him, and protect ourselves with whatever we have. And if you've ever experienced anything like this, please share in the comments how things were resolved or just what you went through. I'm really, really curious about it. So thank you all again for following my channel, liking and subscribing. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.